Hello, and welcome to Foundational Reading for Families, Session 4, Phonics Part 1. The next 4 sessions will be devoted to phonics. We'll be building some background knowledge, demonstrating correct sound production, and describing activities you can use at home with your child. So what is phonics? Phonics is the bridge that allows students to connect sounds or phonemes to written letters or graphemes. The term phonics also refers to the instructional strategy that involves explicitly teaching this connection between sounds and letters, also referred to as letter-sound correspondences. To give you an example, phonics is when students connect the letter T with its associated sound. T. Why is phonics instruction important? You may have heard some controversy surrounding phonics in the past few decades. Now in 2019, we know so much more than we used to know about how children learn to read. In fact, the 2000 report from the National Reading Panel, considered by many in the field to be the gold standard for reading research, advocates strongly for phonics. They say, the conclusion supported by these findings is that various types of systematic phonics approaches are significantly more effective than non-phonics approaches in promoting substantial growth in reading. It is no longer disputed whether phonics is an essential part of how children learn to read. It is now an accepted fact among scientists in the field. A quick note about schwa. When supporting your students at home, it's particularly important that you form the sounds correctly. The biggest obstacle to producing sounds correctly is the dreaded schwa. A schwa is the vowel sound Frequently, when children and adults create consonant letter sounds, they accidentally add the schwa sound to the end. For example, when I make the letter sound for the letter C, I should say k. Frequently, people will actually say k. Let's hear the difference again. K, ka. Adding a schwa becomes a problem when your student starts to blend sounds. Let's say she wants to blend the sounds in the word cat. When I correctly produce the sounds, blending looks like this. K, a, t, cat. If I accidentally add the schwa, this is what happens. Ka-ata, ka-ata. 2 strategies to produce the sounds correctly are as follows. 1, clip it. Envision cutting off or clipping the schwa sound at the end of the sounds you're producing. Or 2, breathe out all of the air from your chest and your diaphragm before creating the sound. You won't have any air left to create this schwa sound. Correct sound production. I'm going to demonstrate for you correct sound production for the first letters and sounds introduced in the Sound Sensible program, which is run for all preschool students and about half of the kindergarten students at Fed Hill Prep. For this program, the letters and sounds are introduced in the order by how they are produced in the mouth. P, P, B, Notice that these 2 sounds are produced very similarly in the mouth. They're both what we call bilabial plosives, which means they're a stop sound formed by both lips. They're different in something called voicing. This is a useful trick if your student has trouble distinguishing between the p and the b sounds. Put the back of your hand on your throat when you say p and b. Feel the vibration when you say the b. That friction in your voice box is called voicing. Our other sounds are T, T, D, D. Notice these 2 also only differ in their voicing. I can feel the vibration of my vocal cords when I say D. C, K, K, K. Phonics strategies. Many inexpensive and relatively quick phonics strategies and games involve an education staple. Index cards. Gather flashcards for the phonics patterns your child knows. For younger students, that may be short vowels and consonants. For older students, that can include more advanced patterns, like IGH producing the I sound. You could, 1, use these index cards to quiz your student on the letter patterns and associated sounds. While quizzing your child, you could create 3 different piles. 1 for letters that she did not know the name and sound, 1 for letters that she automatically knew the name and the sound, and a 3rd pile for letters and sounds that she knew but probably didn't know automatically. This gives you the ability to practice with your student on letters and sounds that maybe she knows but doesn't know immediately. This allows you to give additional practice to also the unknown patterns, anything that your child did not master in that initial first pile. 2, have your student sort the index cards into different categories. One idea would be to have your child sort the letters into piles depending on how the sound is formed in the mouth. For example, she could put letters into one pile that are all formed by putting two lips together, like B and P. 3, make it into a game. Our students frequently enjoy learning more when it's a game. The simplest version would be give your child a goal. So if she could only automatically identify the name and sound for, say, 8 consonant sounds to win this time, maybe she's working on producing 12 consonant sounds automatically. Set the goal line with a goal that's challenging but achievable for your child. Another game variation is baseball. You, the pitcher, provide your child with a sound, like K. Your child holds the index cards, so your child will have all of these, and then we'll find the index cards that matches the sound that you just produced. So your child would find the K for K sound. If she's correct, or I guess also the C for K sound could have worked as well. If she's correct, she gets a point. If she's wrong, she strikes out and the pitcher's team gets a point. Thank you for joining us for our first session on phonics. To summarize our learning from today, 1, phonics is the bridge that allows students to connect sounds or phonemes to letters or graphemes. The benefit of teaching systematic phonics to students is now accepted science in the field. We know this is how children learn to read. 3, when we produce sounds, we need to be careful not to include the schwa sound. 4, one useful tool to support phonics at home is to create index cards for phonics patterns. You can use these to quiz your child at home, have her quiz herself, or to create games to support phonics instruction. Thank you again for your time and attention. Please join us for our next session on phonics. We will be discussing the correct sound production for a new set of sounds, as well as giving additional examples of strategies and activities you can do at home with your student.